Hi, and welcome to the latest instalment from our Icelandic road trip. This is part 6, and we're heading west, to the northwest, and I really hope you like what we've put together here. Why not subscribe so you don't miss any of our future journeys, and click on that like button, we'd appreciate that. Now let's take a look at the entire route for this road trip, spread over 11 nights with 9 stopovers, and the aim of our video is to show you what you might see and to provide you with inspiration for your own road trip, as well as some handy hints and tips. Well, I hope they're handy. And so you know, this was filmed in mid-March, and today's route will take us from Laugabakki to Árnastappi. Apologies for the pronunciation. So without further ado, let's hit the road and head west. And our first stop is a small fishing town we quite like the look of, and then we got a little surprise. Look at this little cutie. It turns out it's one of a pair, rescued from an uncertain future, and we're glad they did. Aren't they just beautiful? Okay, that's enough of the seals. It's time to hit the road again. And today we'll be heading off of Route 1 and onto Route 54 for the majority of the journey. And if it's not one cute creature, it's another. These wonderful Icelandic horses. Obviously inquisitive and probably hoping we've got a treat for them. But being responsible tourists, we don't offer them any treats. I know, bar humbug. They soon tire of us and then go on to perform this unusual ritual. And yet, despite of this, we still have nothing for them. Now, this part of Iceland is incredibly peaceful, and the Snæfellsnes Peninsula is a wonderful place to visit, and easily part of an alternate route from Reykjavik. If you've watched any of the other videos in this series, you know I bang about parking on verges. Well, this is why. This little brown patch wasn't brown when I pulled over it, but I suddenly felt the car give way. We stopped at this beautiful location and decided it was the right place to take up the drone. Now, I love a drone, and I love the unique perspective it can give you on a location, especially one as beautiful as Iceland. However, there is a problem. Drones don't like heavy winds, so take a lot of care when preparing to fly. So our journey was about discovery, and this town wasn't strictly on our route, but do you know what? We decided to check it out. Charming, and it had public conveniences, quite useful for your planning of a road trip. And I love this piece of work, reminded me that Iceland's a seafaring nation. But we're back on the road again, And once again, one of these signs to remind you to keep right over blind brows. And once again, another unique landscape. What appears to be large chunks of pumice, probably from an earlier volcanic eruption, now covered with a form of lichen. And as you can see, this part of Iceland is no less impressive than the south. The main difference you'll find is how quiet the roads are here. Another feature of Iceland is it's quite possible to get all 4 seasons in one day. But a touch of moisture isn't going to put us off, especially when we've got a lovely waterfall to look at. Now, fans of Game of Thrones may recognise this as Arrowhead Mountain. And this was one thing I wasn't expecting to see in Iceland, a lovely golden sandy beach. Now, this doesn't mean I'm going to strip down to my speedos. It's still Iceland after all. And now somewhere I thought was really magnificent, and this is us being as west as we can be in Iceland. Now the next stopover on the plan. Yep, there was a plan. And this is the remains of a volcano that erupted roughly 3,000 to 4,000 years ago. So I think we're fairly safe. And once again, you have views over the landscape. And now we get to our final destination, the ancient rock formation of Longrangia. And that brings this part of the journey to a close. Thanks so much for watching. We hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to click like, and why not subscribe so you get the rest of our adventures. But for now, why not pick another video from this tour, or perhaps something else that takes your fancy. Thanks again.